Hey, 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 how are y'all doing this afternoon? This is SolSista Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast. I am your host, Plum Queen. We have Taquita, Scorpio Sun, and
Hey
we have
y'all.
Queen Misha. How y'all doing? How y'all doing, ladies?
Doing good.
Y'all doing all
Doing
right?
good.
Y'all doing all right? All right, come on, let's wake up. Let's wake up. It's the afternoon time. How y'all doing? And we also have a special guest, Mrs. Susie Wheeler. Say hey, Susie.
Hey, what's up, you all? Nice to be here.
All
Thank you.
right. Yes. So we
Yeah,
bringing.
your intro was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to make it better, trying to make it
It's
as best as
gorgeous.
I can. Thank you so
It's
much.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, we have some new energy today, guys. We have another, what I like to say, another brave soul. You know what I'm saying? That's here to share her story, her expertise. You know what I'm saying? So we can tackle, childhood trauma. So this can no longer be a problem. All right. So, Susie, we're gonna give you the floor and let you tell us who you are, tell us your story, and why you're here.
All right. Thank you so much. So I am Susie Wheeler. What I do now is I am a dating and relationship coach for single moms who have kind of struggled through, oftentimes it's marriage after marriage after marriage after marriage. And what that usually comes back to is the sense of abandonment from childhood. So I'm also a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober 11 years. January 30th was my sober date. And so that in itself was a lot of my trauma. I found comfort in the very first drink I took. I found a sense of like, ooh, yeah, that took away that sense of I am just straight up uncomfortable in my skin. I had had a sexual assault when I was in the 8th grade, and it's it's not that I don't know, you all, that I would say that I repressed that, but I certainly put it in a space where I knew that had happened. I knew it wasn't right. I never told a soul that wasn't already aware of it in my school, and I became a. I took on the persona of like a badass. That's the persona that caused me to take on was that you can't hurt me. I'm a badass. And I took on the persona of kind of like, a party girl, like a loose girl, I'm down for anything. And that became my story. And drugs and alcohol made that easier. So, that's my parents were divorced. I moved out of my hometown, and then I really, my addiction really took off. And so I had been divorced twice when I got sober. I've got 2 grown children, and I'm also a yoga teacher. And I couldn't really deal with any of that until really I had put the plug in the jug, until the alcohol stopped. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna lie, drugs and alcohol worked until it didn't. That's all the way I know how to say it.
That's a
It
real
it
statement. That's real.
it seriously worked until it did not. And then I didn't know how not to be that way. For I drank against what I would call drinking against my will for 10 years after I knew that it didn't work because I didn't know any other way to be. And in an instant, 10 minutes before I took my last drink, I did not take I didn't think I was taking my last drink. Hell, I just called the dope man. I was like, ooh, yeah, it's time we gonna party. It is on.
Real.
And then 10 minutes later, it was, I looked at my friends. I was like, this will never end. I'll die like this. I will die like this. I'll die doing this very same thing over and over and over. And so then that started the journey that I'm on still today.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, well, I want to first off say congratulations, and I'm proud of you for being 11 years sober. That is dope.
Thank you.
Okay.
It is dope. It is. It's a beautiful life.
Now, no pun intended, but yes, that's dope. I just caught that. I just caught that. And it's just interesting. You and I had a conversation, prior to this show,
Hmm.
and you said you were an alcoholic and you went through your 12 steps. I want you to talk, a little bit about that because, I had my thought process, what I'm saying about that, and I definitely wanted us to talk about that because
Yeah.
so you did. So give us a little bit about
Uh,
the program and
I um, I absolutely love the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I mean, I love going to meetings. It's one of the most fun things that I do. And the thing about it is that it never at this point, drinking is not my problem, thinking is my problem. So it never enters my mind. I'm never in a white knuckle situation where, oh my God, I want to have a drink. No, no, no. I, I still get, so the program let me know that the root of my problem was fear. I was scared to death that I was going to lose what I got, and I was scared to death of not ever getting what I wanted. Now, when I was drinking, I had no idea who I was or what I wanted. I would have told you that I wanted to travel the world and be like filthy sticking rich and and have all kinds of fancy clothes and stuff. But like today, knowing myself, uh, the happiest I ever am is when both my children are in my house and I'm cooking dinner for them and they're watching some sort of show on Netflix. And my kids are 17 and 25. And so, but if they can both be in my home at the same time and I can be cooking for them, like I am rich beyond my wildest dreams. So the 12 steps has taught me who I was. It taught me that most of my life has been driven by just a crippling fear of of being me. Just a real weird discomfort that causes me to do things like, chatter my head off when I really don't even have anything to say. I want people to like me that I don't even like. One of our cliches is, why do you continue to seek the approval of people that you don't even approve of?
man.
So, um, I I love the fact that I still work the steps. Those tools still work for me every single day, because when what I found out is that having that trauma in the 8th grade, having that childhood trauma, and then also my parents' divorce and my father never pursued me ever again. My father's called me. If my father calls my phone, it scares me to death because he'll call me like once every 5 years. Now I do pursue him. I care for him. I go see him. I make sure he's okay. He's old. He's 80, 85. Um,
Bless him.
but so I pursue him, but he never once again pursued me. So if my dad does call me, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh my God. It scares me because so that was men were my part of my trauma. So I learned very early on that I needed to manipulate them to get them to love me. So that morphed into, I wasn't very honest. I wouldn't tell you things like, if somebody asked me, hey, do you like adventure movies? If I thought I needed to say that, well, sure I do. Absolutely. I was your yes girl. I would say, and then here comes, 2 months later, that I'm not anything. I became the most untrustworthy person that you could ever imagine. And that's how trauma set up in me, because I didn't believe I could just say, hey, You want to go hang out? I'm offering nothing but, like just chit chat, or, we could take a walk. No, I felt like I had to come with something, and whatever I felt like I needed to come with, I would lie and say I was coming with it, whether I had it or not. So I became very hardcore manipulative, because what I was trying to do is rope me in a husband so I could feel taken care of, because I did not feel safe in this world. Like I needed to, I was trying to have a father who would protect me. So that was, and AA taught me that. And then later on, doing some trauma healing, I was like, oh, wow, I wasn't just born a mean, hateful manipulator. I was actually a pretty cool kid. I was actually, I liked to have fun. I liked to jump rope. I liked to do all, I liked to play in the hills. I grew up in Pikeville, Kentucky. But I became somebody that, like, didn't just manipulate men. I manipulated my friends. I manipulated my employers. Anybody that I felt like you had what I needed, oh, I was going to get on your good side. So that's what AA taught me, to see who I really had become and start to unravel that, you know. And alcohol really masked that very, very well for me. It allowed me, uh, oh, cool, but everyone willing to face their demons. Thank you for seeing that. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I had to. Uh, One of the other things I love to say, and this, I have to look at myself every single day. It says I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. And
Wow, sis, don't say,
yeah,
don't talk to yourself. You can't say stuff like that around me. Yo, you can't talk about yourself like that. No, man.
I know. I'm like, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. So I have to really think, like, okay, wait, how can I be of service today? And it's great because the program keeps me thinking that, because I don't, here's what I know: childhood trauma will not stay miserable for long. If I get in misery, I'm going to go toward the problem, or I'm going to go toward the solution. So if I get in trouble, I have got to start seeking relief. And up until, for 11 years now, I seek the solution. And the solution is love and service and meditation, and go to a meeting and try to help somebody else. And even if I just call a friend, hey, do you need, I'll clean your kitchen, whatever. Literally just exactly like that. And that gets me out of my own crap.
That's beautiful.
Thank
That's
you.
so amazing.
And so
Accountability is great.
that's what the fellowship has done for me.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say this because I guess I need to rephrase my thought processes. So it's not necessarily the 12 steps that I have a problem with.
Hmm.
My issue is the whole initiating, or how y'all reach ourselves.
Oh, it's indoctrinating.
Yeah, that's the thing that I have a
Straight
problem
up.
with. Yeah, that's the only thing I
It's
have a problem with.
dogmatic as hell.
Keeping it above, and this is why I'm glad you were here so we can talk about this, because I've never been through 12 steps, so I really can't judge the program because I have not been in the program. It's just that phrase of calling yourself an alcoholic every time you address yourself. That is my
Right.
biggest thing. But 12 steps helped you. So are you allowed to tell us what those 12 steps are?
Absolutely. The first one is, and you can put in anything, because we're all powerless over something that causes our life to be unmanageable. So the first one is, I'm powerless over alcohol, and my life has become unmanageable. The second one is, I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. The third one is, I became willing to turn my life and my will over to take care of God. And this is a really important part, as I understand it. This phone could be my higher power, this water, you all. It just has to be something outside of my own thinking, because my best thinking got me drunk and high.
Hmm.
And the fourth one is made a made a fearless and searching moral inventory. And so I had to go back of all that and look at all that stuff. I had to go back and look at all that because as long as that was in my consciousness, I could not be free. And then I had to out myself. I had to tell somebody, "Hey, this is the shit I done. This is how I've behaved." And the sixth is became willing to ask your higher power to remove whatever's not me, show me who I am. And then after you become willing to ask, then you ask. That's step 7. So humbly ask for remove all that stuff. Show me who I am. And then eight, this is became willing to make amends. So you make a list of all the people you need to say, "Hey, I'm what can I do?" And then the ninth step is you actually make the amends. And the 10th step is you look at yourself every night, you know, every night. And it's like a maintenance step. 10, 11, and 12 are your maintenance steps. So every night when I go to bed, right before I go to bed, and I'm not very good at doing a 10th step, so I don't want to front like I am. I'm not. Uh, but I am really good at saying I'm sorry in the moment because I know that I can't hold that. I know that I cannot hold that anymore. So that's the 10th step every day is to look back at the day and say, "Hey, was I selfish? Was I self-seeking? Was I hateful? Did I lack gratitude?" And then the 11th step is sought through prayer and meditation to that conscious contact with that higher power every single day, to just stop and like tap into your inner being is what that's about. And then the 12th step is I spread this message to other alcoholics who still suffer. And and that has been the most profound thing to me is there's nothing like one alcoholic talking to another, because other addicts, like I can just meet an addict on the street and I can we know each other, like we can just say hi, and I can usually tell by somebody's vernacular, if they're like me. And then it's like, so we call it a language of the heart. It's just like I know you better than most of your family knows me. And I go to 12-step meetings, and some people I don't even, I don't know everybody in the 12 steps because I go all over the place. Like I'm in Florida now visiting my parents, and I will go to meetings while I'm here, and those people will know me better than my family who's known me all my life.
Okay.
So
I definitely understand that.
Community.
Yeah,
community, oh man,
definitely.
it's
I wanted to make a comment. I'm sorry. I apologize. My audio was messed up the first half of your story, and so I missed a lot, and I was really freaking out because I wanted to hear it. So I'll have to go through and re-listen to that. But um, as far as your best self leading to you being an alcoholic, that wasn't your best self. That was your self in trauma, and that was your survival mode self. That wasn't
yeah,
you in your fully in your full love and abundant and peaceful and
right,
calm energy, because this is you in one of your best selves. You're getting to share your message and help
yeah,
people and stuff. So you have to learn to trust yourself to some extent, because you you and your core, you know what you need. It's just about releasing, like you said, releasing those traumas and things that have attached you to negative characteristics and traits that you may find within yourself. But those aren't permanent. That's not exactly who you are. Like you in your highest form, you're a very powerful, loving being, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And so
you're
you can
right,
trust
Michelle.
that being.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Yeah,
What's that?
And I really like these 12 steps. Now I think they need a little bit of tweaking, you know what I'm
Yeah, just a little bit.
saying? Just a little bit. But I do like that concept, and this can be applied to anybody that's dealing with any type of trauma and any type of issues for that matter. What I got from that is identifying that you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Now having the mind, to actually fix it, putting some actions behind fixing it. You know what I'm saying? Then go into doing to charitable work. You know what I'm saying? Now help the next person that has the
Yeah.
same situation going on. Drop the gems on them. You know what I'm saying? That you got so y'all can all be better. That's what I got out of those 12 steps.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and one of the things that's really been powerful for me is that I keep, um, like the guy. One of the things I've loved about the and he was a boy at the time. He was a 19-year-old boy, but he was young. He was a kid too. He's never been my problem. He's his own problem.
Right?
That's the deal. So if I allow my problem to always be the person in the mirror, then I've got power, because I can change, I can pray, I can meditate, I can help somebody. I can say,
Hmm.
okay, what's going on? Why do I feel fearful? Why is my heart closed up? If I've got an issue with anything, with my business, my children, my whatever it might be, as long as I allow my problem to always be me, then I am empowered. But the second I think the problem's outside of me, then I can start going off the rails. Then I can feel like a
Powerless.
victim. I can feel like a victim. And when I've had things happen that weren't cool. I was a little girl. Should have never been. I should have never been put in that position. And so, but then as long as I understand that, but then I come back to, wait, Susie, how are you being in the world? Because this is, I can heal from that. I can heal from that. And that put me in a position to help a whole lot of other women too.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Accountability is huge, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to breaking cycles and actually healing and people, that's one, and I think that's the hardest thing to do because we
Yeah,
feel like because of anything that happens to you as a child, technically it's not your fault. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You didn't inflict that on yourself. You didn't
right,
ask for that. So you know what I'm
right.
saying? So it's almost like someone did something to you and you didn't do anything back. But at the same time, understanding that granted they did that to you, but you are still responsible for your actions. The way
Absolutely.
you the way you react to things is solely on you.
Yeah,
Even as a child, you know what I'm saying, even when you don't understand certain things, and that's really hard, you know what I'm saying, for people to grasp and to
hmm,
accept.
yeah,
But once you do, you don't understand how that just opened up the floodgates to healing.
yeah, yeah. Because the universe, I mean, it wants to bless me. Things come to me sometimes in spite of me. And so, yeah, when I am really open and allowing, it's really that life is like, I can't imagine anything in my life, anything better, and I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't change anything about it. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I spent a lot of time really angry. Really, really angry.
Oh, 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 oh.
For I had no idea when
She's
people
back.
were talking about anger when I first came into the rooms, and I was just like, no, no, I don't think I'm angry. No, 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 no. Um, but then little by little, once those layers came off, then I was willing to feel it.
Hmm.
Yeah, instead of like brushing it off. No,
Suppressing
no,
it.
no.
Right.
Yeah, well, and
You
angry.
actually opened it up and let the feelings come out.
Yeah, yeah, because I
Hmm.
would feel very guilty for being anything but, kind of,
It's
silly and
okay.
sunny and,
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't want any feeling but, well, I had one guy in the rooms, he said, Susie, he said, you're like most of us. He said, you not only want to be happy, you want to be happier than happy. Like I want like happy, like all the way, like real happy.
Yeah, I ain't ever happy is there.
He's
You
like,
know,
you want to be happier than happy. I was like, yes, I want like a side of happy with my happy.
But that's because you have your own perspective of like true sorrow and sadness. So now you never want to feel that. So we're gonna go to the opposite end of the spectrum, like as far away
Right.
from that feeling as possible. You know,
Yeah,
like if I
that's
gotta get up
it.
and dance every morning by myself, and like
I'm doing
sing
it.
out loud in the shower, exactly. I understand completely because I also like to be happier than happy. Like happy is a
I
little,
love that.
people's happy comes with masks and stuff. Like I genuinely want to just like exude like the energy of like happiness and high energy and love and like people come around me and like, whew, what's this energy feel? I feel like I can conquer the world right now. Like what is
Yes,
that's Misha, that's Susie.
yes,
So it's like
yes.
I understand that. I completely
Yeah.
understand that.
And I'm easily moved too.
Yeah.
I'm like easily, oh, I mean, it just like little children or fireworks or anything that beauty like really affects me. Like it's just like, I mean, flowers and sunsets and like I'm just like I marvel at that stuff. It's just
Simple
very
things.
simple things. It's just
Yeah.
really, yeah, yeah, it means a lot. It does. It really means a lot to
yes, the
sit
things
here.
you have done every day remind you to identify what it is so that you never return. The moment you get comfortable with forgetting, you are in jeopardy of sliding back. Even with other healing outside of alcohol, forgetfulness is the number one cause of sin. That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting
Repeating that.
thought. What do you think of that?
Yes. Can I see it again?
You sure can.
Will it come back?
Yep.
Repeating what you have done every day reminds you to identify with it so that you never return. The moment you get comfortable with forgetting, you're in jeopardy of sliding back. Um, y- yeah, I to a certain degree, I'm not a big the term sin comes from an archery term which means to miss the mark.
Mm.
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 Uh-huh.
All
Uh-huh.
teach.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, oh yeah, I don't, and I'm a real human. I miss the mark on a lot of stuff, but I'm not superhuman. I'm just an everyday human. I'm a person among persons, and so I do miss the mark quite often. But I don't ever have to drink over it, and I don't intentionally. I I like it that yeah because I don't have to forget my past, but I don't have to dwell on it either. But I
Right,
know
exactly.
we were saying about those simple things. Yeah, those simple things. Like I love sitting here with you all, and this is like nice and easy, and it's yeah. I don't want to crave whatever that
Right.
craving is. I don't care if it's money. I don't care if it is just something outside of me. I don't need to change my state.
Hmm.
So
I
that
like
is where if I'm just cool with being whatever I am in the moment, then I'm not too bad missing the mark.
Mm.
I like that.
I'm hitting the mark.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as far as forgetfulness, yeah, you definitely don't want to forget. You want to forgive, but don't forget. But you don't want to hold on too much to what you know or what you've been through to where it takes you back to that place. Like that's
Right.
why a lot of people, when they're trying to get out of a situation, like you can't heal in the same place that kind of broke you down. So that includes your mindset, that includes the environment you in. So, you definitely don't want constant reminders, but, when you, because like even it doesn't matter good or bad, like, when you can't appreciate the bad without the good. So when you get to those good places, it makes you appreciate all the negative and the bad things that you've been through. So it's kind of like having like a healthy balance. You don't want to forget the things that you did because you want to make sure you continue to humble yourself in your life's journey. But at the same time, you want to make sure that your goal is to move away from your past and the things
Right.
that kind of got you to that point. So you just got to have like a healthy balance of that and not
Right.
allow
Balance.
certain people or things to kind of pull you back into that, entrapment. So you want to continue to make sure you're making strides to move towards a better life, a better you, or whatever that may mean for you.
I remember the first time when I was, and I was 42 years old. It wasn't like I was a kid. Um, to me, oh yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah. She said the same thing. I said she. I don't know if it's a she, but but I remember when I first got sober, I wouldn't do things like I wouldn't do normal things like car maintenance. And I remember when I first started learning how to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm a grown woman with children, big kids, and so I go through the instant oil change, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying, and so I'm telling this person, I said, I'm just in new recovery, and I'm trying to learn how to do grown up stuff, and he's like, oh well, uh, way to go, oil change. I mean, shit, do you want synthetic or what do you want? It's like I don't care, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. I'm
He
sitting
was
there
like,
like,
I didn't come to work to get that. I was here to change oil. What's it?
I mean, it was so funny. But I remember the feeling of like doing that. Like I was like, oh my God. That I didn't even care what they if they thought I was crazy or not. And I was crazy. But I was like, man, so that just felt good. Like it was like I just it was an oil change. It was really like people have been doing it forever. But it felt like it started me on that
Independent.
road, that independence from like just that feeling. I got that same dopamine hit from that oil change that I used to get from that first drink.
Wow.
Like I was like, oh, that's what a real feel good feels like. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't, yeah. And then I didn't need to get another oil change right away.
Right.
It wasn't like, man, I can't wait to get one of the
Right.
oil changes.
I like
It's
It
that.
was
healthy.
it
Interesting.
was
Wow.
those things that were like, okay, I'm understanding this. It was a really cool thing to start understanding normal feel good,
Yes.
because I didn't know what that meant. Like if I only knew that I started and then I can't stop it, and it doesn't feel good. It never felt good again for years. Once that feel good was gone,
Right.
way
Right.
long time. That was in my 20s. I never got that feel good again. Not
Yeah.
like I had in those early days of drinking. No, no, it was just craving. That's all I knew was craving. Didn't matter what it was.
This Facebook user was responding to what you said, Taquita. There's a difference between remembering and remin.
Ruminate.
Yeah, I'm saying, oh, I
I know,
sound crazy. Hold
remember.
on. Ruminating. Ruminating. You want to
Ruminating.
ruminating. Thank you. You want to remember for accountability, not ruminate to hold yourself in contempt.
That's beautiful.
Correct. Yeah. Pretty
A
much what I was
hundred.
saying about having that balance. You know what I'm saying? Just
Hmm.
not
We only
allowing
go to
it
the
to take
past for
you back.
lessons.
Yeah. You just go back to remind you of why
Yes.
you are making those changes. You know what I'm saying? As to light a fire under your ass to kind of give you that motivation to
Hmm.
push you forward. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's just all about balance. Don't it's okay to revisit. It's okay to go home, and if you moved away from home, it's okay to go back. But like for me personally, just a personal thing. Like I moved away from my childhood place when I was about 2021, and I'm 34 now. So when I go back home, and I look, and it just reminds me of why I left. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just gives me that gratification of like, I'm glad I left here when I did. And not to say anything bad about it, but I go back to visit my family and to get that, that love and things like that. But after being there for a couple of days, I'm ready to go back home, and I'm
Right,
glad I made those
exactly.
decisions to be there. So it's just kind of like just an example of that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to go back, but it's just a reminder of why you made the decisions you made and motivate you to move forward.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
If
love
you,
normalizing regular stuff. There was so long in my life, like I normalized, it's a privilege to get to be responsible.
Tell
You
them.
know, it that's a that's
hmm
a that's a that's a privilege for me because I mean I spent a long time just whining and crying around like, oh my god, you know and I know why I did. I know why I did that. I was scared to death. I knew that I wasn't being who I wanted to be. And so really now it's like I really feel it's a super privilege to be responsible and to get to pay a mortgage and to get to pay car insurance. It's just like it's a real cool take on that. It gives you a real, that's like that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it kind of lets you know that you grown up.
Yeah, yeah, like I did.
You
Yeah,
know,
just like
look, somebody I would rather have somebody else do it, but it gives you that sense of like, hey, I'm
independence.
grown up, I'm independent, I'm doing it,
I'm
Hmm.
being a
and you're being responsible.
I'm part of the team. Part of the human league. It's just like, yeah, I like to be. I like to be part of that. Part of everybody that's doing what we can do. Like doing like
Doing
I
the
want to
best we
be
can.
doing the best we can. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be a drain. I want to be
You
a
don't
big
want to be,
cog in the
yeah,
wheel.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Just contributing to the community in a
That's
positive
it.
way. That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Yeah, it's definitely, and also, especially you take more pride in it when you didn't have people teaching you. Because some people they don't think nothing of knowing how to do this stuff, how to like, like balance their budget and, provide for themselves and how like in the like cook healthy food automatically and stuff. Some people don't realize that like a, for like a mass number of us, like the we didn't eat nutritional meals. We ate every day, but but it wasn't nutritional meals. Like we didn't have that knowledge. Like this is things that through medical sickness or through experience from losing family members, your friends, and being exposed to it through life is how you became, oh, maybe I need to focus on that, or oh, maybe I need to make this, maybe I need sea moss gel instead of candy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is once you start realizing that you're teaching yourself these things, and you're getting it. Okay, I'm figuring out how to budget and how to be financially responsible, how to be responsible with the things that I put inside of my body, and I've learned that on my own. Like it's a really a big thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that seems to be now me personally, me being an amputee. Every normal little thing that I do is definitely an accomplishment. So I definitely understand, that concept from a physical, standpoint. But I also wish that we had balance with that because, being responsible is one thing and being independent is great. But I wish we still had the mindset that if someone gives you an opportunity that you can just take that just as seriously as
Hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
you have to struggle and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You see
Oh,
what I'm saying? I don't, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? You go rough. Like just think about like in sports. Most of the time, the coach is really mean and real extra with the team, with the player who has the most potential.
yeah.
It's almost like you have to be rough. It's like that is the only way to motivate and to bring out someone's greatness is if you stomp them on the ground and treat them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like making them want to prove you wrong instead
Hmm.
of just
Putting
you
them under
know
that pressure.
wanting to be great. Wanting to
Mm-hmm.
push yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you can push yourself. And
Hmm.
I personally feel like I wanted some type of way for us to balance that out because again, I know people right now that need that push that you just have to give them that tough love. If you don't give it to them, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I wish it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
I,
feel
I
like some people see things in us that we may not see in ourselves. And that's why, just like a parent, like your kids, like me, I have three kids, so different aspects of them and what their greater aspects is versus, what they're, maybe they're not so good in. So you would nurture their greater aspects and want them to move towards that. And sometimes, people don't see those things in themselves. So they need that kind of tough love or that extra push to push it. And yeah, sometimes people don't see it. And I guess it is a blessing that there is somebody around you and that's in your vicinity that does see that in you that will help bring that up out of you. So I feel like that could be the dynamic in some of those situations, that we just don't see our own potential and we don't see what good we have until somebody else sees it in us. Just like in relationships, different people bring out different aspects of you. You can be with this one person and they can treat you like crap and you may feel like you're nothing. Then you get with somebody else and they just bring all these beautiful things out of you and you like, well, how come I didn't see this before? You just weren't with the right person, or whatever the case may be. So just different people bringing out different things in you. I Just my take on that.
No, I can dig it. I can only go from my experience. I'm a self motivator, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times I've been made to do things, you know what I'm saying, to be independent, like lost my arm, all that good stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, as a human being, I sometimes I feel like that shit ain't necessary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I get the tough love. I get it, but I be feeling like sometimes that's not merited. Like, spirit, do you really have to do that?
Right.
I
Like, did I
promise
really,
you if
was it
you
that
just,
serious? I
yeah,
don't think it was
I
that
can
serious.
promise you if you just tell me what it is,
Right.
I'm here for it. You know what I'm
But maybe
saying?
they did, and that's the thing, they tried to, in
I
reality.
guess they
I
did.
know every time
Yeah.
I know every
I
time
guess
that
I
I
missed
ignored
that.
yeah.
spirit. I know
As
every
I
single
say,
time that spirit told me to do something and I did it, and then I felt that hard, like, no, no, we need to move
Girl.
now. And I'm like, dang,
Yes.
like,
see,
That's
that's
what
gonna
it
make me
be.
sit after this show and sit down and really think about some certain situations. Like, I'm gonna really start thinking about what was going on prior to my accident because I don't think about this much. But since we talking about it,
right.
what sign did I miss? Which red? What flag did I miss that they was hollering at me about? You know what I'm saying? That I didn't know because
Yeah. Make sure you caught the lesson, right?
you know
Like, why
what?
I gotta
Don't
go
tell you
through
about it.
all of
I gotta
this?
get it now.
You get
Oh,
I can see a
see,
little
I
portion.
told you.
I can see a portion. I can see a portion.
Yeah.
And it's like that. We're just beings where, like, human beings are just like that. Sometimes people, just gotta go through their own things to kind of see stuff. And it's crazy. It's happened. It's just life, and it's just how life molds us to who we need to be. And it's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Hell, I don't wish to have gone through half the stuff I went through. But on the other side of it, it's like, I understand it. I'm in a
Hmm.
position to where I am supposed to give back to others and help others go through what they've gone through and help them and like get them to understand that it is, life
I like that.
outside of this, and they don't
Hmm.
have to be in the midst of darkness. So I had to go, I had to crawl so you can walk. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that mentality. So you just gotta look at the positive and change your perspective. And it is messed up. Don't nobody, I couldn't imagine losing a limb. You know what I'm saying? So more power to you because you are doing it, in
Hmm.
spite of it all. And I couldn't imagine it, and it's
It ain't
unfortunate,
that
but
bad, I
sometimes we
promise
just
you.
have to.
Losing the arm ain't really that bad. I'm gonna keep it real. The physical part wasn't that bad. It wasn't. Okay. Well, keep it real. It really wasn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It was
oh
more
my God, I
the
love you.
emotional stuff. I'm just saying. Just keep it real. It's the
Yeah.
more the emotional stuff, like, and it's not even emotionally about losing the arm. It's more so how I related to people. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
and things of that nature. So I guess I needed to sit down and I guess and think about those things. So that's a clear thing to sit my ass down.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
he will
Well,
put you on your behind,
gotcha.
honey, because we be in our own little world doing our own little thing,
I
thinking
yeah.
was, I
everything
was
pretty
in my own
scary.
world, doing
And
my
then
own little
when it's
things.
like,
I was.
dang,
You're right.
it happens.
You're
But
Yeah.
right.
it's to put us back on the right track. Sometimes
Yes, it's
we get in this
realignments.
mindset of this is what, we like. I feel like we all should have, wants and desires, but I feel like those wants and desires need to align with our higher good. And
I agree with
sometimes they're
that.
not, and
Right.
we don't know it, we don't see it. We interact with certain people that is not aligned with our higher good, that is not best for us, and we don't see it, we don't know it, because we wearing rose colored glasses, we all in our fields. And sometimes he has to like throw a damn truck in the middle of the road while we driving, and we got to get over and get in the driver's seat, let him finish driving, and get us to where we need to
Right.
get.
I cannot disagree. I cannot disagree with that. I was trying to tell you, but you wasn't hearing that still small voice, so your life had to get yelled at.
The
I hear
big
you
voice.
right. You right. You that's facts. That is. I need to go on Facebook and find out who we talking to.
I
Right.
know.
I want to know too. The mystery person, who are
Mystery
you?
person. Well, I'm gonna start telling folks. When y'all watch the podcast, if you want to be known, YouTube is the best place to go to comment. That also
Yes.
bumps up the YouTube, that messes with the algorithm and gets that popping. So if are an avid commenter, because we want to hear what you got to say, love your comments, love your perspective, YouTube is the best place to go so we can see who you are, shout you out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if this person's inside of a group, because it's not on my see, it's not on my page. It's in probably one of the groups that I posted in. So YouTube is the best spot. But I appreciate whoever you are, Facebook user, you copy.
Yes.
I love it. One of the greatest things one of my mentors said to me, she said, Susie, why are you always struggling to have? It's like, why don't you just kind of, just won't you just stroll into happiness? She was just like, damn, you like over there with the machete, like acting like you can't, like you're going through the wilderness over here. She was just like, won't you just like open the door? You're
I
acting
love
like you
it.
have to crawl in. So, and I'm like, oh, she's like, I mean, God's been trying to open your doors, and you're like, oh no, I better, go up here and parachute in. So
Right.
yeah, that was it. It's just like, yeah, if God could get me through, normal means, it's like, I don't know, we're gonna have to put her in jail. I mean, I started getting arrested. It was just like, and that
Oh
started
no,
waking
not
me.
trying to be happy. You don't want to get arrested trying to be happy.
Oh well, I mean,
No.
but it's just like that was when things started. I was like, oh wait, hold on. No, I don't. I'm okay. I'm listening. I don't like. I don't like that.
Oh,
And
that's
so
right.
yeah, like that talking about that God shot that says, hey, first I'm going to shove you, and then I'm going to yell at you loud, and then I don't know, we got to bring the sledgehammer in. You know, they
You
didn't.
gonna
They
get
didn't.
Not
this
the
work.
sledgehammer.
You gonna get this work.
Yay.
You gonna learn today.
Right.
You got to learn today.
Today.
Yeah, you gonna get a tower. You gonna
A
Right, the
tower
get a
tower
moment.
tower
moment.
and tarot
Yeah.
cards.
Oh,
You're gonna get a
You
tower
gonna
oh,
start
moment.
seeing those fives. Those fives
tower
is the
moment,
warning
sir.
right
Girl,
there.
those
Those
fives,
fives
yes.
is the
When
warning.
I
When you
see
start seeing
fives,
the
I'll be
fives.
like, ooh, what's
Well,
about to
wait,
happen?
what?
Well, I've been seeing. You know
What's
what?
about
I'm
to
learning not to be scared of fives no more. I used to
I'm
be
not.
scared of
I'm
them
not
too.
scared.
Now,
You gotta
like she
embrace
said,
them.
floating into that change.
Right, because
Yes,
you
that's
you never
exactly
know.
it.
Yeah.
Change is always good because it
Oh,
means
it's
you're
always good.
evolving and growing and you're expanding, and it's always good. You can't stay stagnant. So change is always good. Sometimes it can be hard change because we can be hard headed, but
Yeah.
it's
I'm trying
always
not to be
good.
hard no more. I'm an Aries. I'm around. I'm trying
When's
to
your
be
birthday?
Oh,
Yes,
look,
Aries
I know about y'all
season.
Aries.
Aries season. When's your birthday,
April
Taylor?
April
9th.
9th, next Saturday.
Oh, that's right. We said that. Mine's the 4th on Monday.
Happy
Hey,
early
Oh,
birthday.
okay.
Okay then,
Okay.
Aries.
In
It's a
Oh, and by the way, that is my
celebration.
sister Aquila. I
Okay.
actually,
Aquila.
yeah,
Okay,
she's
hi
from
Aquila.
Florida. She's another dope
Aquila.
spiritual
Peace.
sister. She got her own platform. Her and I
Nice.
did a couple of lives together. So yeah, she's definitely dope. We're gonna have to get her on here to talk.
Yes, yes,
She's like, I
most
was wondering
certainly.
why you was calling me that. Yeah, because I can't see it says Facebook user on the page. It says Facebook user. We're gonna have to
I
get her
Yeah.
on here. She has dope mind. She's very spiritually in
Yes.
tune as well. You know what I'm saying?
Love
We can
it.
bring her energy into the situation as well.
Okay, okay, let's
see.
go. Let's go, Sister
She
Unity.
speaks.
In Hindu mythology, in yoga, there is one of the goddesses. Her name is Kali,
Yes.
and
Ah,
I feel
the
like
god
Kelly. Yeah, I know about
the
her.
yes, the goddess Kali. They call her Kali the Destroyer, and she
Right.
comes in and destroys everything that is not working in your life, so she can help
mhm.
build you back up. And she is not a merciful one. She
That's
That's
oh
Oya. That
yes.
is
That's
Oya
what I'm
and
saying. In
Yoruba.
Yoruba, that's Oya.
Yoruba and
Exactly.
Oya.
oh
Yes.
And I
Yes.
identify, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I identify with Oya.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first Orisha that I ever got connected to. So,
Yes, me
and
too.
that's really who I am. I'm the nicest person in the
nice.
world, but I'm here to bring the truth. I'm here to break illusions, and that's when people start not liking me. That's when I become a
Yeah.
problem because yeah, I have to unapologetically, you know what I'm saying, give you this work. I got to come with that machete
You
because
did, yeah, yeah.
I
I
can't
mean,
sugarcoat this for you. And so I,
no,
yeah,
nobody
definitely.
changed. I couldn't have changed if people would have sugarcoated it for me. I mean, I
Yeah,
had to be
Right.
flattened
that's
Exactly.
to
true.
the ground to be able to thrive. I had
Yeah.
to.
You have to. You can't
You have
sugarcoat
to.
stuff. That's what I do with my kids. Like I'm very transparent. I'm gonna tell you how it is, because if you don't get it from me, you're gonna go out there in the world and you're gonna get it. You know what I'm
From
saying?
people that
So
don't love
I'm
you,
That
from
people
yeah,
that
from
people
don't
people
that
care.
that don't
don't
love you.
love you and that don't
Exactly.
have your
Mm-hmm.
best interests and don't
Yes.
see you as capable.
And
Yeah.
that's the best friendships and relationships is when you can be completely honest and true and just tell people how it is. When you
Yep.
gotta like tiptoe around people's feelings and stuff like that, like no, look, I'm gonna tell you what it is. If you don't like it, oh well, I'm telling you out of love. I'm not telling you because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just telling you what it is. So you either take it or you don't.
Sweetheart,
You gotta
say
have
it
tough
again
skin.
for the people in the back.
You
Woo!
gotta have tough skin dealing with me because I'm just my kids be looking at me sometimes they be like and I'll be like look I love you I'm not trying to
Yeah.
what I'm saying you just got to be real with people and that's the best thing to be is be real because when you are being fake or not being yourself it's like yourself is caged in and you spiritually will feel it and you will just scream inside when you can't really be yourself and it'll just come to a point where you're just going to explode. So you have to always be yourself. Like you can't dim your light or shun yourself or lower your vibrations for the sake of somebody else.
Well,
You just
people
got to
won't
be who
trust
Ever.
you
you.
are. The people
Ever.
who love you and that mess with you and fuck with you is going to stay around.
That's a
The
fact.
Mm-hmm.
other
Just like
ones when
that
they
little
leave
Susie
that
said.
wasn't meant to be around no way.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you always
Exactly.
be honest, you always be truthful with yourself, and you always be truthful with other people. The ones that respect you and mess with you, they're gonna stick around, and you will know that those are the people that are supposed to
Yes.
genuinely be in your life. Other people, bye, see you later.
You can trust
It
Yep.
them,
is what
like
it
Susie
is.
said. That makes you trustworthy. People don't understand. That's why I'm so honest about certain
If you've
things.
got a
I
veil, if
yeah,
you're
I
trying to
don't tell all
sugarcoat,
my business, but I keep it above because how else you gonna trust me? How am I gonna expect you to, you know what I'm saying, to share with me and to be open with me if I'm not gonna be open with you?
Right.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that's my punchline. You know my stuff now. So what's the excuse? You know what I'm saying? You can't say.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's the realest that you know what I'm saying that you can possibly be. And again,
yeah.
can't nobody judge you if you truly believe those things. That can't nobody judge you. And you know what I'm saying, from a religious standpoint, only God can judge you. From us, all I only
Well,
me validates me. I
Yeah.
can't worry about stuff like that. And
well,
Right.
I want 100% people, so I need to be 100%. You give what you get.
with trauma, really what like that trauma lives in the cells, in the tissues,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can also, if I'm working with a client or something, I can validate like,
Yes.
hey, it makes complete sense. It made complete sense why I was out lying, cheating, stealing, and doing dope, and that made complete sense because I didn't know. I was uncomfortable. That made complete sense. However, now let's get into the solution because you ain't
Right.
gonna do this, and everybody's left you. And the reason now you're the problem. When you were eighth grade, that is gone. So it's like
Right.
I validate people because I want to validate. I understand that was not cool. That was absolutely not cool, and nobody's getting let off the hook. But now let's deal with what's going on with
Parents,
you.
Right, because
parents
Yeah,
need to
focusing
do
on in the
that.
past. Yes,
Parents
yeah,
need to do that. If parents would do that, there will be a lot more changes
exactly.
because you can't undo what you did. You
yeah,
can't
Right.
unmake your mistakes. But if you're honest about that and tell your
Yes.
kids, listen, the reason why I'm telling you not to do this is because that's what mama did. That's what daddy did. I know for a fact, I know through experience how this is going to end. And this is why I don't want you to do this. Not
yeah.
just don't do this because I said not to do it. And then they find
Oh,
out later that you did it. And then now, now they have a reason, honestly, to disrespect you and come for you because it's like,
yeah.
how are you being a hypocrite?
And even validating why they want to do it.
To want to do it
Like,
because
I
you
get
did
why
it, and
you
that's
want
fine, and that's
complete.
your team. That's a fact.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
fact.
want
I'm
freedom.
just like
I
you.
get, yeah, I get why you want to, why you want to, act any old kind of way. I get why you want to let loose. I get why you want, smoke a little weed, do all this and that, and drink and shit like that. But the fact remains, it's against the law. Go to jail once, you will not like it. You
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
not like it.
Yeah.
You will not like it.
Those
You
are that, but
probably.
though she's right. She's right.
No, you're right.
I'm somebody. I'm gonna keep it real. I smoke marijuana. You know what I'm saying? But I also
Mhm.
understand what
Well,
that
I mean,
is.
you a grown woman, but yeah,
I
like
am
for kids and stuff, yeah, I like
right.
altering
Mm.
your state, learn how to deal with your state, and then use
Right.
You're right.
Taking your children
because
and getting them
marijuana
on
is medicine.
medication
That's a
instead of,
fact. Now
yes,
that's facts.
instead of
Yeah,
addressing
These
taking your
kids,
children and allowing the
yeah.
therapist to diagnose them and putting
Hmm.
them on medications rather than you addressing their problems and having real conversations with them because of the things that they may have been exposed to while you've been parenting or taking care of them is
yeah,
the problem. A lot of people, they want to run and be like, well, my child is just high energy, or my child's sad or depressed, or my child needs a therapist and medications. But no, your child just needs you to talk to them. Your child
yeah,
just needs to tell you how they're feeling. They need to cry in a safe environment. They need you to hold them. They need you to remind them that you're always with them, despite how many hours you work a day.
yeah.
Like that's what our
Attention.
children need, is for us to actually be what we're trying to make everybody else be for them. We want the teachers to guide them and discipline them. We want the doctors to heal them, and it's like we can do all that for them. We don't have to have these third parties. Like, and in
Yeah.
reality, we're the best ones for them. Like, despite what you've done in your past, you are still the best love and healing that your child can receive, is your
Kids
authentic
mostly,
form.
they, you exactly right, Misha. Kids mostly want more parenting and not less.
Right,
I have a
right.
client right now. Her mother is constantly telling her, "Why do you wear that? No wonder you get that kind of attention. Why do you wear that?" This child is 15 years old. I'm like, if you think that, you dictate what that child wears. Why is that child
Mhm.
allowed to go out of the house looking like that? It's like, and then you
Yeah.
act like you're
My
throwing your hands
mama
up.
dressed me up until I was 12, and I
Ex-
still had to get approval when I got to high
exactly.
school. I could not go no under her roof, and that's a fact.
If
Yes.
I'm buying your clothes and you still standing on my
Right,
roof, I'm buying your clothes.
Because
right.
I
I'll
know,
give you a little
yes, you're
input so you can have your own identity here and there, but you ain't
sure.
about to be out here looking crazy.
But when
Mhm.
when it has to do with safety, and when if things are going to invoke things that a child cannot deal with,
Right,
then you're
exactly.
talking about a safety issue.
Okay, well now you
Yeah.
go into something else. See, now that you're gonna have to talk to the people who swear up and down are, what I'm saying, you're supposed to have all these freedoms. Now I know we live supposed to live in the land of the free and all that, but
Mhm.
like the whole Me Too movement and things of that nature, I'm supposed to be able to walk down the street naked in front of 20 men and they're just supposed to not say anything and do anything. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
type of mentality is being taught to these kids. And again, like you said, it's a safety issue. These are children that you are putting into this situation. Talk about they can dress the way they want to, but not ready, not willing to, not ready to deal with the attention that you're gonna get. They're gonna get attention. You can't control that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can put these kids in these positions. It's like people are allowing these kids to be adults or like they are experienced in things like that. It's just in general, like in life. Like, we always want something. Even as adults, we're ready for this, we're ready for a car, we're ready for a house. And God is like, no, you're not ready for that yet. You don't have
Right.
the financial literacy to have a car, or own a car, or have a house. So once we get into that place and we move too quickly and we go buy a house anyways, even though we're not ready, then we in debt. Now we, filing bankruptcy or whatever. So it's the same thing with kids. You putting these kids in these positions to where they're not equipped, they're not ready, they don't have the wisdom, and they don't have the experience to be in something like that, and they're growing up too fast. And as a parents, we're supposed to shield them from that and protect them from that. And us as parents, we're supposed to teach them what they need to do and how they need to move so that they can be adults and be in that platform and be out in the real world, and not just go out there half-ass and not knowing what to do.
That's the thing,
Well,
also, yeah, making sure that you have those conversations, because I know a lot of it's just about, like you said, like creating an environment within your household so that you can have the conversations to produce those things, like a lot of it's right now. Our kids are on the phone with their friends, or they in their own world doing their own thing. We go to work, we come home, we do our own thing, we provide, we cook, and then like everybody goes their own separate way. Like I remember at one point, and one of like my mom, because all I know that her intentions was never to cause harm. So and one of her positive parenting aspects, like there was a period where every week we would have family, conversation night, because it was me and my younger siblings, her. And so we would get in a circle every week and we would have a talk, if anybody had anything to say, whether it be positive or negative, we would get it out right then and there. So, like
That's needed, and that's really needed, and parents need to do that. And I'm glad y'all are parents and y'all are saying that, because I don't got kids, so I get ridicule for telling parents what they need to be doing with kids and whatnot, but they just don't understand that I used to be a kid, and I'm watching, what I'm saying, these children, out here, when they're not around y'all, you know what I'm saying, and people don't understand. Your kids go out in the world and they become adults and they start dealing with other people. So how you raise your kids affects everybody else. It kind of is everybody else's business unless you're gonna keep your kid in a box.
right.
well, it's that, our biology as men and women, me as a 53-year-old, much less when I was 14, 15, 16, me as a 53-year-old, my physiology, when I intimately sexually interact with somebody, boom, I'm going to get a rush of oxytocin and I'm going to get delusional and I'm going to want to bond with you. I don't care if I just met you at the club. You know, boom, here it's gonna come. I mean, I'm a 53, I'm in right dead right in the center of menopause, and it's still going to happen to me. It's my physiology. I'm gonna go, oh my God, I'm gonna start thinking about you. Oh my Lord, it's so nice. I wonder if you like my kids. Oh my God, I wonder what our house is gonna look like. I mean, so
That's
if
funny.
if I'm doing that before there's a real emotional grown up connection, and his physiology is going divide and conquer. I mean, that's just their biology. It's not saying he's a good guy, she's a good girl, he's a good, he's a
Right.
jerk and whatever. We're
That's true.
talking biology.
Right.
Right,
and
just the
and they
basic
have that
physical
kind of
body.
the basic body, and they have kind of that same thing, but the testosterone rushes in and counteracts it, and they
Yeah.
immediately start thinking about food, sleep, and the next conflict.
Right, that
you
part.
know and so it's like, until, I don't care if it's your first time or your millionth time, there needs to be if you're going to be a grown up, you got to make sure that there is an emotional connection if you don't want that biology to start work on you. If you don't want if you don't want those hormones to start firing, then you have got to be like, okay, wait, I can't, because I know that stuff that comes, I'm not trying to lay down with this anybody because I understand my physiology.
Yeah. And some people try to sit here and they try to take it there and they try to do the friends with benefits and, oh, I'm not going to catch feelings. but it's part of the human makeup. It's part
It's
of
part of,
us. Like
that's like
we
me smelling
are.
pizza and not gonna get hungry.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, you seeing something,
That's
it's
a fact.
advertised to you, it's there. And then, especially when you're doing things with this person, the same person you're laying down with, hanging out, whatever the case may be, it's just human nature to form a bond or catch feelings or start to form an attachment to this person to where you
Yes.
crave their energy, crave their presence, and things like that. So all these men and women who think that you can connect with somebody in a sexual way and just keep it sexual is like, give me name one situation that has happened where somebody just has it and that's all it
Oh,
was, and
outside of
nobody
a
out of the
movie. In the
party,
movies, they don't
That's
even
the
say
right,
one
that
hit
catch
quitters.
feelings.
It's just the one hit quit that you
Right, it
go
has to be
and do
that.
just one time and keep it
Yeah,
moving. But you can't
yeah.
keep being in someone's
It
energy
can't be
over and
consistent.
over and over again and thinking that you're
Yes,
not gonna get
it's
it.
just gonna be,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It's an
1,000%.
energetic drain.
Yes,
It
it is.
Yes.
really
right.
is.
And
It's
on top of that,
too
you
much.
taking on each other's traumas because our bodies are computer
Yes.
True.
systems and
That's
our
true.
skin actually remembers things. It holds memories. So when someone's rubbing on you,
Misha, it's
their energy and trauma is going inside of your skin cells, like she said,
oh,
because like
Right?
they both said, your trauma and your issues are in your tissues.
When you
Like
change
that's
your DNA,
literal
it's in your
physics.
saliva, when you touch your skin,
Exactly.
all
Like
of that.
Yes.
It's all
And
in
I
there.
it
read
changes.
somewhere
So you
too.
can have sex.
Yeah.
get your
One
trauma
second,
off of me.
you can have sex with somebody, yes, and then for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you crying, you angry, you don't know why you can't get along with your mom and your family, or it's because, and then you look and that person, these are things that they were going through, and you literally gave it to yourself for what?
Understand that?
Like
People don't.
you have to
Get
be
it.
mindful of whose energy you are taking into
And
your own
then
because
even with women, I don't know, I was looking at something or watching something, but us women, we store men's sperm DNA in us for years. Like,
Yeah.
I could have had sex with somebody 25 years ago and his DNA is still within me.
Let me
And
tell you,
that DNA is in you. Like, that's crazy.
this
And
is
That's
how
that's why
women
we
interesting.
have
have to be
babies.
mindful.
A
We got to
lady
be
had
mindful of
two
people we
people
lay
who
down
had
with.
twins, and they twins had different had different dads. People do not understand. You cannot, ladies, you cannot be a man. I'm sorry. You need to stop. Do not let
no.
TD and Cardi B and them make you think that you're a man. You are
Right.
not a man. You
You
cannot
have
do
to
Right.
act
what
and
men
conduct yourself
do.
as a woman.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You
That's
cannot
it.
just be giving your thing to everybody. That's it. That's the portal of life. I'm trying to say, you don't understand. Like they're literally inside of you.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is.
Like
It is.
It,
literally inside
That's
of you.
crazy.
And
yeah.
depositing shit.
It's holy.
You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
it's
In there.
literally like the
Like
divine,
it
you
is.
know,
It's the
that now,
It
omniverse.
like
It's the
that
is.
whole
Shiva,
universe.
Shiva and Shakti energy. See,
Mhm.
Shakti, the feminine energy, she can live without the man because it's all of creation.
Asexual.
You
And
better
so
say.
that Shiva
Teach
energy,
him. You better go on and teach him, Susie.
I
They not
know,
ready
and
for that.
Shiva was born of that energy because Shakti needed someone to observe, to
Mm,
delight in the energy.
that sound like
So,
Adam and that. Don't that sound like the real story of Adam and Eve? Don't it?
No, but their names wasn't Adam and Eve. Their names was
Mm-hmm.
actually Zakar and Nakaba.
All of that.
Zakar and Nakaba
All of that.
that's Adam and Eve.
Women, we carry the mitochondrial DNA. This is why when
yes,
you
we
go
do.
to Ancestry and get your DNA tested, it's automatically gonna be your mama. The only way
Mhm.
to get your father's side is if you need a male person. You know what I'm saying? It's DNA in order to figure that out. Automatically, your DNA comes out as your mama.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. The only
We are
thing
the
that rules
mother
the
of
call is your
creation.
last name. Sorry, but when it comes down to DNA, it's us.
It's
So if you
us.
Yeah,
got
Yeah.
that's why it's
daughters,
mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
yeah.
Right.
But
Your
yes,
daughter,
these
your
women,
daughter is the one who carries on your legacy,
yeah.
not your son. Your son carries your
Oh,
name, but your daughter carries their DNA, and that's a fact.
yes. So
Yeah,
they
that's
said sexually
crazy.
transmitted. She said sexually transmitted energies are more dangerous than sexually transmitted diseases, and
Now
that's
you
a
better
fact
tell
because
them.
it'll have you
You
all
better
bent
Yes.
out
tell
of
them.
character, and you don't even know it.
Yes.
It's a
If you
fact.
don't know who you're laying down with, and that's why I get so mindful, like even people's habits, like because then you also have to think like not only is it their traumas and stuff, but then their daily habits is affecting their body's natural alkaline levels and whether they're acidic or not. So then you could be being
Speak
intimate
on
with
'em.
somebody, and if they are drinking every day, and eating meat every day with no vegetables, and their body's real acidic, your body's not gonna react to y'all being sexually active anyways, and that can manifest into a sexual
A
disease.
transmitted disease, yep,
Wow.
yeast
Yep,
infections and all that stuff. And us
it starts
women,
as
like
energy.
they did tests on dead women who are not living anymore, and did test on them, and still found these men's DNA and sperm inside of them. These
What
women
study did
ain't.
you watch?
I forget what I was watching. I really for I'll be watching so much stuff, but I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe it. Like we whole
Sex
harness
is
these men's DNA in our bodies, and it's crazy, and a lot of it until the
so
day we
sacred.
die.
Sex is
So
so sacred.
it
So we
is.
really need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I
It's a
don't get me
ritual.
wrong. I know I'm sexually active, but I've been sexually active with the same person. You know what I'm saying, for the past 13 years. And the one time I tried to call myself getting under another one. You know what I'm saying. We was going through a little, but no. You know how to say
Hmm.
the universe slap you and you got to make it. Yeah, that was one of them moments. It And that's the thing that we do. We are taught that. You get on the run, to get on. Please stop doing that, ladies. Please stop doing that.
Get
That is
on
all
another one and get
wrong.
over one.
Sacred,
Yeah,
like you
please stop
said,
doing
it's
that.
sacred. It's
It's
sacred.
sacred. Your body is
Hmm.
sacred.
Sacred.
You know what I'm saying? It is
Yeah.
not something to just be played around with. It is not negotiable. It is not just something to do. I'm
Yes.
Hmm.
so serious. It's so
Yes.
serious. It's priceless. Can't no. There's not an amount of money in the world that can pay for that. I
You
promise
have
you.
to
I don't
realize,
care.
like everything in media right now, everything in this matrix downplays sex for a reason. They overexpose us to it for a reason.
Yep.
Like if you look on all the
Yep.
movies, I can't even watch TV shows anymore because all the TV shows it's just like unnecessary random scenes of sex. And
So
like while
true.
I'm an adult
Girl.
and I can handle it, I'm like, why do I need to see this right now? What did that have to do with Susan being at the grocery store a while ago? Like, with her
Right.
grandmama dying. Now they in the bedroom having sex. Like, what is
Look at that.
happening? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because
very
like
it's
none
over
of
everything.
sexualized.
it's
Hormones,
Yeah.
testosterone,
everything.
all of that
And
stuff.
then
Yeah.
they've made it okay by saying well, sex sells, sex sells. Well, then make something else
Nail
sell shit.
cell. I
Let's
like
make healing
that
sell.
part. That
Make
part.
Let's heal
heal,
Okay.
ourselves. Let's
make
overexposure
healing
of healing.
sell.
Sell because you are
Yes,
Yeah,
selling
like
it.
I
Because that's all
love
you
that.
selling. If you give them something else, if you
Oh,
give them, we would buy that.
give them something else.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Clearly, we're gonna buy
overexposed
whatever you're
healing.
selling. So stop selling stuff.
I love that.
Yeah,
Overexposed
this is
healing.
Right.
yes,
If you
like
That's
get
it.
right, like why can't we do that? Sell that.
yeah.
Yes.
Sell
Like,
healing.
Yeah. Every
I'm
time I
so
turn on the
healed.
computer, oh bam, frequencies. Oh,
You
hello,
know what I'm
432
saying?
hertz.
You know what
Oh,
I mean? And
you
now they
know.
can't do that. They can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna stop
That'd
making
be
that
so great.
money.
But this is we can have that. You can have that. You know why? Because you are the creator of your reality. So every morning I get an overstimulation of 432 hertz because I put it on my YouTube and I go there
And
and I'm like,
YouTube
okay,
YouTube
five,
works off an algorithm. So what you
yeah,
watch is what will continue. They'll start to find other videos
exactly.
and pull other things.
Yes,
So if
they
you
will.
keep it positive, it'll stay
Yes, that's
positive.
Yeah,
all.
It's
there's
all
That's
a lot
about
of
and
truth
that's
you.
to
the
that
same with
anymore.
your Facebooks and
What's your
stuff. I
reality?
delete people
Yeah.
who
Music,
are
all of
always
that.
negative. If I gotta have these social media sites and I have control over whose social media I let into my access. So
That's
don't
right.
take no hard feelings if you get taken off. It just means you're in a really low vibration, and I need
Block and
Facebook to get your
unfollow.
attention.
Block
Yes,
and
I don't want to see this every
unfollow.
day.
That's a fact.
Hmm.
I don't block
That's
people
in our
too
right.
often because I need y'all
Right.
need this work, but I unfollow people like a
Right.
mug. If you
Hmm.
saying too much extraness, you know what I'm saying. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want that on my timeline. I need positivity on my timeline. So
Yeah.
I
All
only
that negative
connect to positive
energy.
people. Yeah, drama. I don't see none of that stuff. So
Mm-mm.
when people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
all I see is this,"
Mhm.
and I got to get off, I don't see why. I don't see
Yeah.
why, because if I see anything that's extra, you got to go.
You
I
just can.
absolutely
Yeah.
control my news feed. I absolutely control
Yes,
Yeah.
my friends list. I control the pages that I'm a part of, the groups that I'm
yes,
in. You have full control over that. That's your
yeah,
diet. What you're putting in, so you're feeding into the algorithm is what you're gonna get back out of it.
Yeah.
So
mhm.
clearly, you need to change your friends list. Sorry, it may be everybody you know. Clearly, you need to
Right.
change the people that you know. That's the universe telling you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
one
know,
of the programs that I do for single moms. It's called Create Your Village.
I love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's because you get to create, the space that's around you, all that energy that's around you. You can find
That's a
beautiful friends,
practice
beautiful
now.
supportive friends,
Absolutely.
beautiful communities.
That's what this platform is all about.
Yeah.
Creating that space, where we can control our narrative and have this thing like my name Pump Queen. That's where that started from. I was trying to start an organization of powerful ladies united making progress.
Yes, I
Oh,
love that.
That is
oh,
what
beautiful.
that is the reason why I came up with that name in the first place. So
That's
I and
beautiful.
I want to do things like that. I would love, I'm a content creator, so that's the plan, to create those spaces, so
Yeah.
we can have that, because 10 years from now, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't want to be talking about this shit.
Right,
10 years
exactly.
from now, I want to be talking about, I want to be in the healing phase. You know what I'm saying? I want to see
Yeah.
all the prosperousness and the abundance from all
Yeah.
the healing we done did. And these, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I want a true progression. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
because healing doesn't have to stay permanent. That's
It
another thing. A
doesn't.
lot of
It
people get
doesn't.
stuck in a
Yeah,
I'm
it
still
does
working
not.
through, I'm still working. And I'm like, okay, well, you've
And
been
then if you
working
teach
on
your
it.
kids, there's nothing to fix.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly. That's
saying?
why
Nothing to
I am
fix.
very big on the correcting myself because I understand I just had to come to the realization I've been a little bit more like my mom in ways than I wanted to admit. And I had to have a really hard conversation with my daughter last night. And I have to let her know. Once again, like I love you. And if those actions actually made you feel the way you're telling me they did, mommy sorry. Mommy is so sorry because I didn't intend that at all. I was really doing the best that I had with the resources and the situations that I was in,
That's
you
it.
know? And it's like she's 12. So hopefully we don't have to have that conversation again 10, 20, 30 years from now, and
That's it.
she's not having that with other people. Hopefully that was I gave her what she needed for that situation, and we keep moving. But yeah, it's definitely like being a hand, you got to be proactive with it every day. That's the best way to get through it. It's
Yeah,
one
it
thing to heal
definitely is.
yourself, but when you've already procreated and were traumatized while procreating, it's your right. That's your duty, your responsibility to go to your children and ask them, how are you feeling? How do you feel? Do you have traumas? Is there anything that I've done that may have led to you having traumas? And you have to be prepared for the fact that they may say
That
yes.
answer. Yep.
They
You gotta
probably
be
gonna
prepared for that
say
answer.
yeah. Yeah,
That's it. Prepare for that answer.
if you've allowed
Yeah.
Yeah.
your child to feel comfortable telling you how they feel, the answer they tell you may not be the answer you want to hear, but it's going to be them being truthful with you. And that's all that matters.
Mhm. Yeah. Me personally, I still have to, like we've discussed before, I still have to have that conversation with my parents, both my mother and my father, about things that's happened in the past that we didn't talk about, or that I wouldn't say that I still hold on to, but I feel like until it's out in the open and I have that conversation, it's just not going to go away. And usually, when God, I get it, I call it my angels, my spirit team, whatever you want to call it. But when I keep getting inklings about something and something keeps tapping me on my shoulder and trying to push me to do something, I know that that's the universe's way of like telling me, hey, this is it's time for this to happen. You need to you need to do this. You need to go that way, or you need to have this conversation. And that's something, especially with this podcast, has been kind of putting it on a platform and allowing me to talk about it because I've never talked about it. So, it's allowing me to really open up my throat chakra because that's something that I had suppressed as a child. I didn't have that chance to speak up and voice my opinion or say how I felt to my parents. Either one, didn't have nobody to talk to, had to hold all that in. So I definitely
Hmm.
understand the importance of having your voice, and connecting with people that allow me to speak up and say how I feel without feeling ridiculed or feeling less than or feeling like something's wrong with me. And they are accepting, what I'm saying and allowing, and, just getting to the solution or getting to the, resolving the problem instead of, remaining in the problem, or
Yeah.
not fixing it. So it's great to, connect with people like that because it is giving me that motivation that I need to speak up. And again, this platform. So I thank you, Timbra, for even, and Misha, because you introduced me to her. So really, it was just a blessing because it's definitely something that's needed. And to speak up and to allow other women or other people, men, kids, whoever all over the world know
Everyone.
that their voice is needs to be heard, and everybody needs to be heard, and everybody needs to feel, loved and cared for, or whatever the case may be. And it's really good to be able to speak up and resolve those issues because that's a part of healing. That's a part of, moving forward and making strides is to speak about the past and deal with it, and instead of running from it, just kind of heal from it and keep it moving.
Calling your
So
power back, calling your power
yeah,
back at all
yeah.
times. Like, you
Mm,
have to, people, you, if you think about every situation that you gave power to, whether it was in your control or out of your control, like from childhood to not,
Something like that.
there's potentially a lot of people walking around with power that you've given them of yours. Like, you
Mhm.
don't know what
Mhm.
things in your DNA could be activated from that power and energy coming back into your realm. Like, you don't know. So yeah, Rita, like, I I applaud you, and I'm really proud to see the ways that you've come out of your shell through us doing this podcast, because I know that's definitely been something that you had to work on. We had to work on, was using our voice, our throat chakra, to tell our stories, and like watching you be able to do it and do it with ease now, and getting that understanding and stuff. Like, you're really blossoming into a very, like, wise soul, you know.
thank
Like,
you.
I'm
I
proud of you,
appreciate
And add
girlfriend.
on that, I want to thank y'all
Thank
for
you.
helping me fulfill my purpose because it's my purpose to give to do this. And
Yeah.
I appreciate us being on the same frequency. Everything that y'all see in me is a reflection of yourself. I just want to be the conduit, saying, to bringing y'all on out there because I ain't got no problem shining my light. So I want
Yeah.
everybody else to shine theirs. On that note, we going I did this earlier and it seemed weird, but they giving you your love. So somebody think you fine, want to make sure that you true like men. And you got one
I
too,
think
Kimber.
it's gonna go
Quita.
back.
So Quita's gorgeous though. Her melanin's still in the show. So yeah,
Yes.
you
He
know what
said,
I'm saying?
yes.
See what
Well,
happens when you put
as
yourself on out there. You know what I'm saying?
as
Enjoy y'all flowers right now. Go on,
look,
sprinkle all
as
of that.
far as me, I am very much into my feminine with a healthy understanding of my masculine. So I have me a king. I do like men, but at the same time, I understand the power of sister wives. And so one day I will have three sister wives, just because of the square, the foundation that I see
Girl.
being built with the power and the extent of the legacy that I'm trying to build. And so, yeah, I love men, but I value my sisters. And so, men, they serve their purpose, women,
Ooh,
they serve
about
their
to be on
purpose.
and popping now.
Yeah.
You gonna have the comment list lit
I never
up.
said that in public.
Her,
You gonna come here, look, you
Okay.
gonna go
her
get that
inbox about
healing.
to
Look
be
at
popping.
however you bring them in, sis. However you bring them in. Go on
I,
right, go
I
ahead.
love it.
That's it. That's what's up. Well, ladies, we have been
Yeah,
on for
me
an
too.
hour and a half. I want y'all to enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. Susie, you have been amazing. Thank you so much. We want to have you back again. You're
Yeah.
cool. Love your story.
Thank
I
you.
love this 12-step thing. I'm gonna do some research now. You know what I'm saying? You got my wheels turning. You know what I'm saying? I like having different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Because I want my perspective to broaden, to elevate itself. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge is infinite.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn, and there's always levels to
Hmm.
everything. So I'm just trying to be, the best that I can be, and you definitely
Yeah.
helped out with my perspective on that. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell
Thank
folks
you
how to
so
find
much.
you, and tell folks how to find you, and how to get you, because you said you have services, you got clients. So tell them about that.
Absolutely, yes. So the best way to hook up with me is on Instagram, XO_Suzie Wheeler. That's Susie with a Z. And I am constantly on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, Susie Wheeler. So hit me up there. You're going to find me there on social media, and then I have groups and things like that. But just hit me up on social, and that's where we'll start connecting, especially single moms who are either in the process of divorce, after divorce, or trying to date again.
All
Oh,
right.
love it. Love it.
Okay. So what she just said, go holler at Susie. Susie the
Yeah,
one. She's gonna
yeah,
Yes.
give you the tools to get you where you need to go. And
that's it.
she can tell you from experience, so you know she know what she's talking about. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
All
That's
right.
it.
Well, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Let's work on ourselves. Let's work on this healing. Let's work them steps. Let's identify these issues. Let's have the will to change them, do the work, and come out on the other side. All right. We
Yes.
love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of
Love
your
you.
day and always be inspired.
Peace.
Thank you. Bye, you all.